podcast, it's gonna be like.
Do you know what ASMR is?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, hi. We're gonna eat some popcorn today. Me and you in a room is a very bad idea.
And that's how we're gonna start the show.
Hi.
Hey! What you lot saying? It's your boy Velan Joe here, and you are now tuning to another episode. It's popcorn going down. The 10th episode of Be The Source. And on today's show, I'm tuned in with the beautiful, lovely Melina.
Thank you.
What are you telling me?
What am I telling you? I don't know.
Don't you just say it when people say, "Hey, what are you saying?"
It's like, how's it going? I don't know how it's going. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
You don't need to just caress the mic.
Hello, Mike. No, because this is the joke I'm trying to make. Like, it's right in front of my face. Anyway, it's okay. Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking.
I have some popcorn for you.
Okay, cool.
I have some really warm water in the bottle.
Oh, who doesn't like warm water?
It's 30 degrees today.
Oh, even better. This is going to turn into something really bad.
It's going to be AMSR.
It's gonna be amazing. Not AMSR, ASMR.
ASMR.
ASMR, yeah. And scene.
Okay. So tell me a bit about yourself. What do you do?
So I'm a director. I write and I act. Those are the main three things I do. But
in that order?
Well, no, actually. It's so hard when people ask questions like that. It's like, my first love was acting.
Yeah.
And then came writing and directing, believe it or not, together, hand in hand. But now I've kind of focused mainly on the writing and directing. And then if I can, I will write roles for myself, because there's not a lot of roles for... Well, first of all, being Middle Eastern, that's
One sec. Is this the volume you're going to talk at? Because you was talking louder before.
I could be loud!
I'm going to put you.
I'm sorry. It's just because we're talking like normal, V.
Yeah,
I'm just going to stroke your hair.
Okay.
Just going to stroke your hair. What, do you want me to be louder?
No. I'm just going to put your volume up.
Okay, tell me, is this okay
now?
now?
It's better. Yeah.
Remember? Okay. Do you want to start again?
No. So what do you do? Tell me a bit about yourself.
So I write and I direct and I act, and I'm not in that order. I started with acting as like my first love, and then I found writing and directing, and then I just started.
You found writing and directing?
I know it sounds stupid, but it's like when I went to the cinema as a kid, I went to the cinema like every weekend with my mum and my sister, and we would like watch a movie. Like usually it would be kids' movie because we were really young at the time. But I remember like watching like Narnia like 3 times, and like Nanny McPhee like 3 times as well. Just sitting there like, oh my god. And I was like, I would really love to do what they do, and I didn't know what it was at the time. And then I grew up and I realized, people are doing like Stagecoach and all these like, like acting training for kids. And I never got into it because I didn't know how to get into it. But as I got older, I joined like loads of creative theatre groups and film groups, and just kind of went from there. And then writing, funny enough, came from my teacher. Shout out to Tim Holloway. Anyway, he's an amazing teacher, by the way. He's like, he works at BAFTA too.
No way.
He's the sickest human being I know. I had the weirdest interaction with him. He came to my show, a theatre show that I did, and because I invited him, of course he wouldn't just randomly turn up. I just invited him, and he came, and I was like, oh my god, Mr. H is here, bro. Like, ah! And I looked at him and I went, oh, Mr. H, thank you so much for coming. And do you know what he said? He went, you can call me Tim. And I went, okay, Tim. And it just didn't feel right on my tongue. So I was like, I'm just going to call you Mr. H for now, it's cool. And I just kept going backstage going, Tim Holloway, just to kind of get it in my head so it wouldn't sound weird. But he was one of the most amazing people I know, and he's a brilliant teacher. And he said to me, the BFI are doing a writing course, one of the first ones, and it's a residential course.
Popcorn.
Oh god, drink some water. I'll drink some with you for continuity reasons.
So you know where to cut.
Do you want some cold water?
I'm good.
You good? Yeah. With your 40-degree water. So he told me about the BFI screenwriting course, which was a residential one in Newcastle. And I went there, and I had this amazing woman called...
So was you living in Newcastle?
No. Like I still lived in London, but like we would go there, and we'd work with the Tyneside Cinema, which is an amazing cinema down there, and they got like screen editors for us. Like the lady who worked on like the Bridget Jones Diary,
Yeah.
you know, the first one.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
was my screen editor.
Wow.
So I had the privilege of working with her, and it was amazing. So that's kind of where I got into it. And then I realized, oh, I can direct. I can direct. And then I went, but you know when you're like a kid, you're like, I can direct. And then you get older and you're like, oh shit, that wasn't directing. That was just being fucking bossy. And and I just kind of, I enjoyed it and I really wanted to pursue it. So I got involved with like loads of productions. And
How
then,
old were you
yeah.
at that time?
Believe it or not, I was like, when I finally decided that I knew what I wanted to do.
Kind of, yeah. Right, yeah.
14.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
That's
I knew.
Early, though.
I knew early. I mean, I knew acting came way before that.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew I wanted to act by like when I was like 10.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I got like older, I realized, oh, I can write for film. Like film was the main thing. So I started doing that, and God help me, it probably wasn't good at all. Looking back at it now, I was like, what the hell was I thinking? But but like now I've got all the tools that I need in my toolbox to be able to write for film, to be able to write for theater, and it just makes me really happy. Yeah,
That's mad. So from 14, you were like, okay, this is what I'm gonna
I
do.
knew what I was gonna do. I was just like, hey, none of you bitches know.
That's mad.
So it's great.
What were your kind of stepping stones from like 14 till now?
Oh, in what way?
And like, because you already knew you wanted to be a director.
Yeah.
So then what kind of things did you
Came
start?
in place to get there.
What did you start doing?
One of the first thing was that I took drama, media, and photography for my A levels. Like drama sucked at school. I don't mean to be rude to any of my teachers, but it sucked.
Why?
Because they don't teach you acting. They teach you like the theoretical side of it. And when it comes down to your performance at the end of the year, you don't entirely, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's basically, it's not solely focused on making sure that you're a great actor. It's all about learning where drama comes from and learning about the different types of practitioners.
So basically reading Shakespeare.
Don't you dare cuss Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. You cannot say
I'm not
that.
cussing him,
Yes,
I'm
you just like Shakespeare, bitch.
Let's
No.
learn the history, right?
Listen. I'm gonna inform you on Shakespeare,
Okay,
everybody.
School me.
I want to school you. Okay. Shakespeare was shit at school because we had to be forced, like we had to force like to learn that.
Yeah.
Learn Macbeth and it's not fun, right? But when I got older, I realized actually all the stuff that's written in Shakespearean text really relates to now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like stuff with racism and like judgment, like on like, for example, like The Merchant of Venice. It's like Shylock is a Jew, like it's a Jewish guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he gets treated like shit from all like everyone else. So it's all about knowing like about prejudice and love and lust and all the things that we experience as human beings. So I love Shakespeare because back then he wrote it, it was relevant, and we still do it today and it's still relevant because we ain't fucking changed. I'm telling you. But like, I think that like for me, anyone who doesn't get Shakespeare, that's totally fine. That it's old English, but for me, like I hated it. I grew up and I loved it because I went to drama school auditions, right? And at the time, you couldn't do a male speech if you're a woman.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I did Hamlet.
Okay.
I did Hamlet, bro. I went in then, and do you know what was really funny? I did an audition at Central School of Speech and Drama, and I was one of the only 2 girls in the group because they separate you into groups, right? And God help me, every male in the room did the exact same speech I was going to do.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
How did you stand out?
How did I stand out? I probably didn't because everyone else was doing the same fucking speech.
Yeah,
but like,
you're a girl though.
I just, you know what I do? My thing with acting is don't overdo it. Like the way I'm speaking to you right now is the way I have to think about it. It's like if I was to place myself, like, do you know the story of Hamlet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Briefly.
Briefly?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, well, Hamlet is... no, it's okay. Hamlet's like one of the longest Shakespearean texts, but basically Hamlet, his father, he's like the Prince of Denmark, right? Okay. And his dad dies, right? And his uncle kills him. His uncle kills his own, like, brother kill brother, basically, right? Yeah. And he marries his mum, so he marries his brother's wife, which is weird, right? And Hamlet starts going out of his mind, do you know what I mean? Because he's like, how can my mum do that? Like, literally, he's only been dead like 2 weeks, like, or something around that time. Like, he's only been dead like a little while, and she's already shagging my uncle. Like, that's not cool. And so his mind just goes, he kind of he doesn't go insane on purpose, but with all the pain that he feels, he goes insane. And then the speech I do is when he wants to like kill himself.
Okay.
He's thinking about killing himself, and he goes, "Oh, that this too sullied flesh would melt," right? And he talks about, oh, if killing yourself wasn't a sin, and it talks about real subjects, and you see his pain. And the only time in the entire play, which everyone knows the speech for, by the way, is "to be or not to be." That's the only time where he's actually calm, and he goes, "To live or not to live," like that is the question. Like, oh, if I could dream, oh, to sleep, because he's so restless. And I think his stories are really like Shakespeare. Oh my god, like all of your favorite films probably have Shakespeare. Lion King is based on Hamlet. 10 Things I Hate About You is like The Taming of the Shrew. She's the Man is based on 12th Night. So all of these films like are based on something that was written ages ago.
So you went to drama school?
No, I auditioned for it.
No, sorry. You studied drama.
Yes.
That was crap you said.
Yeah, at school it was. But I think that anyone you ask will say the same thing, because it wasn't like, it didn't teach you the fundamentals of being an actor. It just taught you about the study of drama.
So then after you finished that, you started you scouting around for drama schools. No, actually, what happened was I finished, believe it or not, I got like I got a D in my drama. No way.
Yeah. And the girls who never turned up to class got a fucking B, and I was like, what? I'm sitting here like after school for 3 hours just with my teacher doing the work, and I flopped the exam. And I got like a B in media, and I got a B in photography. I was happy. I was like, I'm good, right? And they were like, you should retake drama. I was like, I'm not going to. But after that, what ended up happening was I didn't know what to do, because they don't give you the tools to know what to do. But luckily, because of during like the time that I was at school, I had done the BFI screenwriting course. I'd done acting classes. I was like doing theatre and film. And
you found all of that in your own...
In my own time and on my own way, And like I said, I was very fortunate to have a really good teacher who guided me. Because a lot of teachers don't care. Not to be rude to teachers, but they really don't. And
it's true. In school, they don't teach you proper life skills. And they don't really mentor you.
I want to learn about tax. No one taught me about tax.
I want to know how to buy a house.
Oh my god. Do you know what I mean? I had to find out what a LISA was. I just read it. I was like, what is a LISA, bro? You probably don't know what a LISA is. Do you know what a LISA is? It's basically like, oh my god, it's basically...
I thought you were trying to say ISA.
What are you thinking, bro? No. It's in like, it's where you put money in and then you can buy a house later on, like your first house. But like, no one teaches you that stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, being self-employed or how to do your taxes and that stuff. LISA. LISA.
Okay. I'm going to look into
now we're going to talk about mortgages, guys. Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
You guys want to know how to buy a house.
But it was just really funny because like when I finished school, I didn't know what to do straight away. So I was very fortunate because I worked at like in terms of acting, I did like the Lyric Young Company and the Bush Activist, which is like the Bush Theatres. Well, they don't do it anymore, but it was like a place where actors could come and learn and work with the directors who were on the stage like for a month. You know, like a proper big director. So we got to work with them, and it was really fun.
How are those directors? Are they dicks?
Do you know what? There was not a dick, but there was this one guy who was directing his show, and he was really lovely, very cute too, to be fair. And he was like, we were doing a workshop with him, and he came behind me, and we were walking, right? We were doing this exercise to walk as ourselves. And then he came behind me and went, I like the way you walk. And I was like, because I was 16, bear in mind. So I was like, oh, a man paying attention to me. Do you know what I mean? But
started shaking your butt.
work the hips, girl, work the hips. It's like, you know, when you just, you suddenly feel like this overwhelming, maybe. Do you get like, if a girl is like proper, you fancy them and they come and kind of give you a bit of a...
Yeah, I get a little ego boost.
Do you feel it everywhere? Is that what I'm saying? Like,
everywhere. I feel it in certain places.
You're such a man. Fuck's sake. No, that's fair because you are a man. Let's just say you've got a penis. Anyway, so it will happen. I am a man,
if you guys are wondering.
Why is it okay to say penis and not vagina? There you go.
That's going to be the title of this podcast.
Why not vagina?
It is alright to say vagina. Why can't you say vagina?
I could say vagina. You can say vagina. Let's all say vagina together, guys. Vagina.
Yay.
But so what was it? Oh yeah, no. So I
was talking about directors being dicks.
So they weren't dickish. They were really lovely and accommodating because we were younger as well. Bear in mind, this was when I was like 16.
I just imagine like theatre directors being like grey hair, mad old.
They used to be.
Yeah.
Now they're not. Like, you have a range. Like, the one of my favorite theatres to ever work at and be at is the Bush Theatre. And if you ever get a chance to, go there, because they are so diverse. Their stories are diverse. You know, when you go somewhere, they're like, yeah, we focus on our diversity and like it's really important to us. And there's only like 2 black people, or like 2 of the same race, and you're just kind of like, what?
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And the Bush, what I love about them, they commission writers, and they don't necessarily think about the race of the individual. They think about the work, but the race comes into it because they want to give platforms to people. Do you know what I mean? And this industry is really like whitewashed. Like,
has Bush been around for?
Oh, it's been around for a long time, yeah. And then they moved to another location and it became bigger, and I'm so happy for it. But they do amazing work, and they have like Matinee is one of the like most amazing artistic directors ever. That man is wonderful. And same with Omar, they're wonderful. Every one of them are wonderful, and they've been such a help to me. They've known me since I was a kid, and they like every time they see me, they're like, hey, how are you doing? I'm great. And they're like, what are you working on at the moment? Can we help with anything?
Oh wow.
Who does that anymore? Everyone. This is the worst thing about this industry, is that I know a lot of people like this, where they have made it to a point in their career where they're stable or they're happy, and they've made a name for themselves, right? And they don't open the door for everyone else, and that's what sucks for me, and I don't personally like that.
I agree with you, and I kind of
disagree. Agree to disagree?
No, I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
But I feel like, if let's say myself, when I get to that stage, I would kind of open the doors, but I'd expect that person to do the same grind and hustle that I did to get to where I was. Because then if I just open the doors to everybody,
then everyone. No, I completely agree with that. But I think it's the way you think about it. It's more of if you place yourself where you were like 5 years ago. Yeah. And you kind of go, I wish someone had given me a little boost to get there. I think that's what it is. 100%. And it's not necessarily about opening the door like wide. It's about leaving the breadcrumbs for them to figure it out, because you know, when you're a first-time filmmaker, like for example, trying to get onto courses is really difficult. When you haven't made a film, it's really difficult. So to have someone to go, look, I know where you're coming from, I feel your pain, let me help you, like, even if it's like, let me look at your script and give you some notes. So that it becomes like more clearer and crystal and beautiful, 100%. So that you can take it to someone else and be like, wow, this is great. Do you know what I mean? And I believe in random acts of kindness. And I think we're in a world where everyone's just fucking staring at their phone. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But like, no one looks up to actually think and see the world around them. And see there are people struggling.
That's the power of social media. Everyone's looking at how many likes they're getting. Oh, is it? Oh no, it's nearly 5 o'clock.
Even I do it though. I'm very aware of it. Like, but the thing is, I've realized that I don't post anything on my Insta anymore that's personal, because I think it was a lot of, like, for example, there were a lot of people like. I'm 22 now. I forgot how old I was. Oh, Jesus Christ. I feel 40, V. I swear to God. But like,
the heat is aging.
Oh my God. Give me my cup of tea, Humphrey. You know, but basically, Humphrey. But basically, like, I'm 22, and everyone expected my younger sister to get a boyfriend before I did. This is one thing. I know. It's because she's pretty. I'm pretty too, I know. But V, you don't have to say anything. But basically, like, she's wonderful. I love her to pieces. But everyone just kind of went, oh, she's the it kind of girl, right? Okay. And she knows how to do makeup better than I do. And I'm very laddish. And I've mentioned this before. Like, I'm very confident in my body, but I don't mind man spreading. Do you know what I mean? A woman spreading, basically. But like, I'm one of those people, and everyone was like, "Oh, she's gonna get a boyfriend first." And so when I posted that I got, like, not post that I got a boyfriend, but when I put a picture of us up for the first time ever, people were like, "Oh my God, well done, good for you, babes. We didn't know you had it in you." Like, oh my God, like I didn't know how to deal with that. So I decided.
Are these people like your friends?
They fucking were supposed to be, but they're not anymore. Ha 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 ha. No, basically, there were people that I know in my life, and people who follow me on my Insta. I don't necessarily follow them back. This is the other thing. But they are people I know, and I don't blame them. I was a nerd at school. My hair was like up to here. There was an advert at the time where someone put a bowl on their head, like a family put a bowl on their head, and they cut around it. Everyone called me that.
You had a bowl haircut.
Shut up. Don't even start, innit? I know you're thinking, and you're
because I had the same haircut and I got bullied as well.
Maybe it was like an Asian thing, a Middle Eastern thing. We don't need to go to the barber.
It was a mushroom haircut, isn't it? Is it mushroom? I remember.
It just looked.
Yeah, no, but that's not how people bullied you. Oh,
Yeah,
you got undercut.
you're undercut, bro. I don't like you because you were undercut, innit? But like I had a really bad haircut, and everyone would like always take the piss out of me. So I was a nerd, and like school was so hard for me. So no one expected me to actually fucking get a boyfriend.
But you know all the ugly girls in school.
Bro, you can't say shit like that.
Are now
no one is ugly. No one's ugly, babes.
Okay.
I know you think you are, but we just gotta take a moment and just remind you how beautiful you are.
What the girls I thought were less pretty in school?
And now
the hot ones now. Yeah, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Just saying, blossoming. We blossom, baby. It's because we do. I do you know what? I just think it's because like we don't give a shit what people think about us. Yeah. I don't anyway. Like, don't get me wrong.
That's what I love about you, though.
I don't give a shit. Yeah. I'm like Marmite. One of the main things you will learn about me as a director and in life, I am blunt but never rude. And if I am rude, I ain't gonna talk to you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm never gonna cause unnecessary drama. If I have a problem with you, I will state it. But I never ever lie to anyone. Like, I'm very honest, I'm very blunt. And if I have to tell a white lie just to make sure like civil war doesn't break out between my friends, and I will. But like, but that's the extent it will go to. I won't go further than that. I'm a very honest person, and I just think that, you know, my clothing, my mum is one of the biggest people who goes, oh, what you wear is a way of presenting yourself, and that's totally fine, each to their own. But me, I can turn up in a t-shirt and jeans, right, and kill it on set, or I could do it in the same thing in a like fucking skinny like maxi dress. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I did that, because that's not maxi, but do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. So I'm just one of those people who's like, if I want to make an effort, I'll do it for myself. Like today, I woke up and I went, I look beautiful. Yeah, that's what you I'm beautiful, babes. And I just had a moment. I went, I'm gonna do eyeshadow, and I suck at eyeshadow, V. And I smashed it. I smashed it today. I was like, yes, I got CV. I got look pretty. It was just brilliant. So I'm one of those people. But on a side note, funny note, I told you this. I ripped my jeans as I came here. So these beautiful blue jeans you see are replacements. I did. I bent over. My cigarette phone. I bent over to grab it, and I went. And I just kind of waddled my way back home, and I went. My sister's Lily.
How far away was you from your house?
Like 2 minutes away, but 2 minutes felt like fucking 3 hours. I should say like.
Some penguin waddled
like
back.
It was bad, bro. Like, it's like getting a cut like right in your crotch area.
Like a big one.
Yeah. No, I didn't have that. I'm saying if you had that, it'd be embarrassing. It was just bad. Like, imagine if I came all the way here and didn't realize, and then halfway through the interview you go, Melina, you have a little. You have a little. Oh, microphone, don't leave. Okay, but imagine if that happened. Do you know what I mean? So it was just bad. But that's something funny that happened to me today.
If I wanted to be an actor.
Yes.
A TV actor, precisely.
Why TV though?
Because I feel like I don't know why TV.
You just feel like asking a TV question?
Sorry?
That's fine. You just want to ask a TV question?
Yeah, I want to ask a TV question.
Ask away.
What's my process? What do I need to do?
In terms of what, like the technique for performing on camera?
I want to be on a show on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Like, I'm blank right now. So
okay.
Talk me through what I need to be.
Let me have a sip of water, because this popcorn is killing me.
Yeah, I know. It makes your throat dry, innit? Or something. Because I know a lot of people that are watching at home, they might want to get into acting, because I know a lot of my viewers are kind of not like you, where you kind of knew what you wanted to do when you was 14.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what I wanted to do.
And you know what? I think that's fine. Yeah. That's totally fine. I think people have their process in finding stuff.
And like we were saying in school, people don't really teach you things.
They don't. So and I think it's really hard, because I'll come back to the acting thing, but I think when it comes to, this is one of the really important things to me. Like, my sister's going through the same thing. She's 18 and doesn't know what she wants to do. Okay. She knows she wants to do business, but doesn't know what to go into. And my biggest thing is, it's fine. You have all your life. Do you know what I mean? Like Harrison Ford, Oprah Winfrey, they didn't do like big things until they were like older, and that's totally fine. But look at them now. They're killing it.
What they were doing was trying stuff, and it was failing.
And then they finally realized, oh my God, this isn't making me happy. I'm going to do this. The only reason I do this job is because it makes me happy. It gives me a reason to wake up in the morning. And I know that sounds sad, but like...
It does not sound sad.
No, as in like, it's like, she only gets up for work. Oh. But like, as in...
I'm pretty sure you don't see it as work.
it's far from work for me. It's a passion. It's always something I want to make sure I excel in. So if I pick a project and I do it, like for example, I'm working on a music video right now. All of the rest of my team, I love them to pieces. They don't listen to the same music as I do. And I played them this track. I was like, I'm going to do treatment. I'm going to do treatment and it'll be fine. And they were like, okay, you do your thing. I sent it. We got the damn treatment. And they were like, oh, damn, now what do we do? It's that depressing track. Oh, bruh, it is. And then this is the thing. I changed their minds. I made them listen to it. And I pitched the idea and they fell in love with the song and they're singing it now. And there are people who love rap music, grime, they don't really listen to indie alternative music, and they love the artist and all that kind of stuff. And it's really interesting because at the end of the day, it's all a process. And like if you don't know what you want to do now, my main thing is try everything. Okay, try everything. I know that sounds stupid, but like I did retail, for example. I worked in retail. God help me, I'm never going back.
But they say something about working in retail.
You lose your soul, bro. What are you talking about?
Soul, but you also learn about people's behaviors.
That's true. You do. You learn who are cunts and who are not. I'm not even joking. You learn who are really nice people and who really want to talk to you, and you learn the way to talk to other people as well. Like I may talk to you one way, right? But I may talk to a producer like the next day. My talking with slang will disappear. Because naturally, when I'm in a room with someone, my language will change. But this is the thing: when it comes to choices and what you want to do in the future, you got a lot of time. Doesn't matter how old you are, you've got time. You're not gonna die until you're about like 90. Okay, so you got like you have time to make your print on the world, and it doesn't matter if it's big or small. It's just a matter of doing what you love. Because at the end of the day, if you succeed at what you love, you're happy, you're content, and I think that's the main thing.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. You know when they make those videos on Facebook where they're like, Melina was just a young girl and she lived in like a shitty flat in White City and now she's a multi-millionaire. You know those funny like videos? I'm gonna have one of those and it's gonna be amazing. Anyway, so basically when it comes to acting, I think it doesn't matter what field. First thing is like you have to know your character. And by that I mean by that I mean so like if you read the script, right, and you don't like so say your character's name is, I don't know, like Barbara came to mind. I don't know why Barbara came to mind, but Barbara came. I'm Humphrey. Barbara, I'm Humphrey. Basically, I'm Barbara. So Barbara's talking to Humphrey, right? But they're talking about something like I'm asking how you are, right? But you're going, I'm fine, but Humphrey isn't really fine. He's actually really depressed and upset. He just lost his job, right? But we naturally as human beings will go, what? I'm fine. We won't tell people unless we really feel confident enough to tell them. We hide things because we're scared. So, subtext, that's the main thing. What are they actually saying? So you look at the text and you go, okay, so Humphrey is saying I'm fine, but actually he's not. He's actually really upset. Why is he upset? And what does my character do to get that information? So do I belittle you? Or do I comfort you? Or do I be harsh on you? Do you mean like that kind of stuff? So you read the text, you find the narrative, and then you find the connections and what's being said and what you're doing to get to what you're trying to achieve. There's an objective in every scene, and there's a super objective. And by super objective, I mean like, for example, Velan, you want to be the greatest director that ever lived. That's your super objective, right? Whereas your kind of normal objective would be to make sure that you get this interview beautifully. Does that make sense? That you're a good host. Does that make sense? So there's different objectives, and it's all about how you get to those. Okay? That's one. Knowing your character. So what kind of human being are they? How old are they? How do they walk, talk, behave? What kind of music do they listen to? Do they have any scars? All of that kind of stuff. I always advise the actors I work with, if they haven't ever worked with like the techniques of Unterhagen. Sounds really weird. Unterhagen. She's German and she's brilliant, but she came up, I think it was with these 9 questions, if I'm correct. And they really interrogate your character, like who are you? Where are you? Like what time is it? What century? What place? You know, all of that kind of stuff. Dislikes, likes, and all that kind of thing. So it really makes you sit down and go, oh, okay, what does my character actually like? And you have to dissect the text to find it. And then stuff that is not in the text that you have to make yourself, right? So all of that stuff is finding character. That's step 1. Build your character, find who it is, and then step into their shoes, right? And not necessarily like method act, because God help me,
What's
like,
method
method acting is like what Daniel Day-Lewis does,
okay.
right? You know, like where he plays Lincoln, and he becomes that character, and for the duration of that film, he is only that character. There's no Daniel, so if you speak to him, you're gonna have to refer to him as Lincoln or whatever his name is in the film. They're not there anymore. They speak. If my character speaks like this, then when you come to speak to me, Velan, you go, Barbara, and I'm like, yes, Humphrey. What do you need from me? Yeah, I'm very well. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't talk. They speak in character, and they become that character. Whereas me, normally, I don't speak like that. So that's method acting. It's putting yourself in those shoes, really becoming that person. And Melina, for example, has left and Barbara's taken over my body, right? That's what method acting is, and that's not a really good explanation of it, but one that you will understand. But that's the first thing. So cut character and live and breathe them for a little while, understand what they're like, and then when it comes to techniques for acting, that's where it comes in next. So if you're doing screen acting, like right now, I'll look at you. So camera's over here, right? So if I'm going to look at you, I can't look at you dead straight. Why? Because if the camera's here, right, and it's getting my shot, it's not getting my emotion because I'm just looking dead flat at you. Whereas if I focus this eye on this eye, the camera gets this eye.
Where am I supposed to be? Am I this eye?
So for you, if the camera was here, this eye would look to this eye.
Okay.
Get it? So there's always like an eye looking, kind of not looking at the camera, but giving the camera the emotion that it needs to get. So that's the main thing. But like, that's just one thing. And then Michael Caine came up with that, which is really interesting. So that's not my acting technique, but it's a good one to know if you're doing acting for a screen. And then the other thing is,
I just think these steps are good for directing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm learning like mad stuff.
Trust me, I'll give you all the lowdown. I'm going to write a book and it's going to come out next week, and you're going to be like getting multi-millionaire, like, haha, money. I talk such gibberish, honestly. But anyway, babes. But like the other thing is, like when you're doing screen acting, that everything you do is big. So like on camera, if I wave my hands around, it looks shit. It will look shit. Whereas if you think about it, we were talking about this, like the camera only really goes up to here, unless it's showing shots of you walking or in an environment where it shows your whole body. Usually it's just up to there. But you should know what your character, like body language would kind of look like. But you have to know that if the camera's here, right, and I suddenly go and I raise my eyebrow or I do something stupid with my face, like camera's going to make that bigger. It's going to amplify that. So you have to really condense your acting. So none of this kind of faffing around, like, because with theatre, this is the thing. Theatre is all about projection. So it comes from here and you're being very kind of loud. So if the National is like a kind of amphi-like theatre, like, you know, Greek theatre. So they've designed it like that. So it goes all the way up. So you have to hit it and it can't come from here. It's got to come from here. So you have to find your core, and you're projecting and you're projecting and you're projecting night after night, right? Whereas when you're acting for acting for screen, you can't move like that. It's got to be like, so if I'm feeling really sad, right, like, and I want to, or if I'm getting angry, angry is probably a better one. If I'm getting angry at you, I can't push you in the scene like that, because then the camera can't catch it. I mean, you can. Most directors will do whatever they want with the scene, but the main thing is, if you're doing acting for screen, bring everything down, because the tiniest thing will look big on screen. And that's not a bad thing, because the tiniest thing could be like a flick of a finger. So like, you know when they get those shots of the hands, or like someone has a tick, this is the other thing, actors need to find their tick. This is what I find. My tick is talking with my hands. Have you realised I talk with my hands quite a lot? So I'm aware of that. But like, if my character is self-conscious, they don't necessarily like bite their nails. They will fidget. They will like the hand, like if we're focusing on hands, like not knowing what to so you just kind of, you're like this. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is just my example of it. Or if my one's ears, so if I'm in a meeting, I always fiddle with my ears, which is really weird, right? So I will do this quite a lot. So it's important to know your tick, because every human being has one. I think you have one. I'm gonna watch you and find out what your tick is, and then we'll go from there. And we'll come back to it. But yeah, so that's the thing. So when you're acting for screen, bring it down, bring it right down.
Is you know when you started learning about projection and stuff? Is that when you figured that I could sing?
No. Nice segue though. I like the segue. No, so funny enough with singing, like I grew up with like old school music, right? Like Peter Gabriel, Genesis, Supertramp, Tina Turner. You won't know any of these. Do you know any of them?
I know Genesis.
Do you know? Oh, you're the only one. You're the only one my age.
I know because of this guy.
Really?
He shows me all these old school tracks.
Really?
Do you know? I bet you know all of the people that she said.
Do you know Peter Gabriel? Oh, you've heard of? No, like I listen to really old school music. So like Peter Gabriel, Tina Turner, Phil Collins, Genesis, Supertramp, and I saw Supertramp and Peter Gabriel live, and God help me, I will go to the rest of my days, I will go and see them live, because there's something about them and their music speaks to me. But I grew up with that kind of music where it was all about meaning and talking your truth. And it's not to say that we don't do that anymore, but like if you listen to old music, like even jazz, soul, anything before like, you know, the 2000s, it was all about kind of conveying what they felt, and then the composition of the music came on top of it. So I kind of grew up with that, and so when I started writing music, it came from a place of pain.
What?
Yeah.
When you started writing music?
Yeah, like I wrote my own songs.
What?
Yeah, I wrote my own songs. It's probably anyway. No, but I wrote my own music, and they were always songs of pain. I wrote really depressing music, and you know what?
When you was getting bullied at school?
Yeah. So it was like I had a lot of, there wasn't only bullying, like there was so much like that I can't even explain to you. Like there were problems within my family that they were going through. So like if we're talking on a really deep level, that I had family issues that were going on. I was bullied at school up until year 11, from primary to year 11. Okay. So it was a big chunk of my life of bullying. And I remember there was a point like where I got really upset because I am bi. Bear that in mind. I'm bi. Funny enough, my mum don't know, so don't tell her, innit? No. Do you know what? I don't. I'm hashtag mum, innit? Yay! No, but to be fair, she wouldn't go crazy. But she's Iranian, so the whole kind of culture. It's a phase. It's like it's I can't change her, but I've tried to bring it down, if that makes sense. So she's more understanding now, which I appreciate. But like. I remember I was at school and there was this girl and this group of girls, because I went to an all-girls school. They were all bitchy. And I don't mean to stereotype women, but they were all bitchy. Like I remember I was sat down like this, Evie, and I swear to God, they were over there and they saw me, and my mum was next to me, bear in mind. She went away for 2 seconds and this girl came over and she touched my leg really inappropriately, and she was just caressing my leg, right? And bear in mind, this was at a point in my life where I wasn't comfortable. I was a very quiet girl, very introverted, and no one knew I was bi. And at the time, being bi was a trend. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Everyone was bi because, I'm interested in men and women, but they didn't really mean it. And you know what? I can't judge other people. That's their life. But I knew I was bi. I knew for a long time. And she touched my leg up and down, and she came higher. And God help me, I was just there.
Where are you guys in the school?
This was like in the middle of the field, so like literally where the sixth form centre was, outside of there, so like in the middle bit,
so you were just sitting with your mum goes off somewhere.
This was results day as well, so everyone's there. And they were the cool kids, they were the popular kids who, funny enough, now try to message me and go, would you like to link up? Would you like to meet up? And I just say to them, very honestly, I go, no. And they're like, why? I'm like, because you're a cunt, you dickhead. Like, you treated me. I don't lie, I don't bullshit. I just said you're a dick. You hurt my feelings as a kid, but look at you now. Now you're begging me for my fucking interaction. Suck your mum, innit? So this girl, that was very rude, but who gives a shit? Marmite. Anyway, so this girl touches my leg up, and then I got really uncomfortable with it, and I pushed her away, and I went through so much of that.
So she didn't talk to you, she just came up to you.
And this wasn't a girl who went to my school. There was a girl in my school. It was her girlfriend.
Okay.
So she didn't even go to our school.
Okay.
And she just touched me up. And she knows who she is, and she's living a sucky life probably. And I'm happy that she's living a sucky life, because people like that don't deserve to have happiness in their life. I know that's sad, but listen, you don't cause other people drama. Don't cause people pain, because that caused me a lot of pain in my childhood. Like, you know, like.
Why did that cause you?
Because I was such a pent up, nerdy, introverted girl who had no friends. I knew I was bi, yeah.
And she touched you up, so then...
They didn't know, but no one else knew I was bi.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't come out to anyone. So it was more of a case of, I was in an all-girls school and being like, everyone was like, you're a lesbian. You know those jokes that they made, and it wasn't funny. So and I remember when there was boys in the sixth form, and the girls would run to them, and they weren't even the prettiest of boys, and they were jerks. But people were like, "Oh my God, there's a boy in this school! There's a boy in this school!" And I was just there like, "Oh my God, get over yourselves!" And it was a really rough time in my life because in primary I got bullied majorly, and then I went to high school and I got bullied majorly as well because I was a creative, because I knew what I wanted to do, because I was a nerd. I really was. I used to watch movies all the time. I used to come in. I had a High School Musical bag. That didn't help. So I had
a High School Musical lunchbox and everything.
Oh no, not a lunchbox. Who carries lunchbox in it? No, it was just a backpack. It was like glittery though, so that's probably why. And my boyish haircut, so it was really bad. Like I just remember being really uncomfortable at school. So then when it came to the point where, after being bullied for so long, because I got beaten up as well in school, someone broke my nose at school. Oh, shit. Yeah. Like,
did you break their nose back?
No. So the story goes like this. I slapped this girl because she was being a bitch to me. It was like the first time I stood up for myself because I was really introverted. Like, I stood up for myself and I went, "I'm not dealing with this." And I went, "Shut up." And she went, "Who are you telling to shut up?" And I went, baff, in her face. And this was on the 267 bus. I remember very clearly at the back. Yeah. And she got her revenge on me, and I was at school and I was just making my way, and I was like, "Who's following me?" And I was like, "Oh, it's no one, it's just that chick." She came into me and barged me into this massive log, and my nose blew up. Yeah. And her friends were like, "Please don't report us, we don't want to get excluded. Please don't report us, we don't want to get excluded." Just repeating that non-stop. And I was like, "I'm gonna kill your sorry asses." And I think that was a very important part of my life, actually. Although it was a very painful part of my life, my whole family laughed at me, because even I laughed at me. My nose looked like a walrus. It was purple and big, and I didn't know what to do. I was just like this. But it was a really important part of my life, because without kind of that awakening, I wouldn't probably be the blunt person I am today. Because I finally went, enough is enough. And I grew out of my shell, if that makes sense. So when people came at me, they were like, "You're fat," because being like fat was such an issue at school. "Oh, you're fat." So I was like, "Oh, thank you so much, I really appreciate it." And then I'd walk off and they're like, "What the fuck just happened?" Or like someone would try and say something really horrible to me, and I'd be like, "Oh, thank you." And I'd walk off, and like it was a lot of thank youing, but like saying it in funny ways that they would just.
Do you still get that in the acting world?
Yeah.
How do you deal with it?
I just tell them. Like, Velan, the amount of times I've gone up for job roles, like acting roles, and they've gone, "Oh, you're too big, your acting's perfect, your performance was perfect, but you're too big." And I just go, "Are you joking?" I just literally don't know. I go, "Are you joking?" I don't be rude. This is the thing, like actors think that they have to be polite, and that's totally fair, you have to be. But if someone meets you with that disrespect, I don't personally stand for it. I am a very, like I said, a very honest person. I'm a very blunt person, and I am like a firm believer that we need to change a lot of the stuff in our industry, especially about Middle Eastern, Asian kind of. Even like, when do we ever see an Asian guy?
Never.
Or when do we see it? Yeah, we don't even finish the set. Or they play nerds.
Yeah.
Not everyone's a nerd.
IT nerd,
or
call center,
or Indian people are like the corner shop owners.
Yeah.
Or they're like they're cheapskates. And I'm like, "Oh, dude, like."
I'm trying to think, when was the last Iranian person I saw?
Look out the silence. Like, you couldn't answer that within seconds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because Iranian and like Asian and the minorities in general don't get that push to be on there. For example, Black Panther came out, right? Big success. Why do you think it was a big success? Because black people are not represented enough, more so than we are, believe it or not. But they were like, "Enough is enough." They went, "Fuck this. When are we going to see ourselves in movies?" And they gave that backlash, and they went, "No." And it came to them. But I don't feel like, you can disagree with me on this, but I don't feel like not necessarily our culture, but we're not one of those people to go, "Hey, we'll do it for ourselves," if that makes sense, to prove people wrong. I think that's the way we work it out. But at the same time, it's like, it's really hard. I mean, I can name you some of the best Iranian films that I love, but you probably won't know them because they're not on the mainstream. Probably you know one of them, Persepolis, the graphic novel animated film.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a really great film. If you want to watch a great Iranian film, there's loads. The old school stuff is brilliant.
Okay.
New school's a new word now. Police is a great film.
Okay.
Rhino Season, which in Farsi is Fasl Kargadan, which is a beautiful film.
Okay.
About a poet who is basically tortured. It's the point of the revolution, and all the poets and all the like people who worked within that field were tortured, were kept in prison. And you see this guy and his journey and his wife being taken, like his wife got raped and all this kind of, it's really intense to watch, but it speaks such truth. And it's, there's an Italian actress who plays in it, she plays the wife. And I was like, at first I was like, why is there an Italian actress in an Iranian film? But I realized it was for several reasons. One, to help the film get out there, which I can understand because actually it meant that people watched it. But she learnt Farsi.
Okay.
She learnt Farsi, and I was really proud of that. I was like, okay, so here's a random stranger who's not Iranian, who's learning Farsi just for a film. Thank you. I was just so like, yes. But we don't, do you know what I mean? Yes. But like, it was the fact that that you know, we don't get enough of that in the industry, which really annoys me, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, when I got into like writing music, if we come back, because we've segued completely, I got into writing music because of all the shit that I went through as a kid. I wrote really depressing music. I sing, but my voice is like, people don't expect my voice to come out of me, if that makes sense. And I will prove that to you if you want.
Yes.
All right, I need to gargle my water.
And to get into character.
No, it's the popcorn.
What's your singer name?
It's just my name. This is my name. I never was like MC Melina should have been my name, but I didn't.
Little Melina
from West, innit? No, it's just Melina Namdar. Right, which funny enough, I'll tell you the fun fact. My surname means well known.
Well known.
Yeah, Nam is name.
Yeah.
Namdar means well known. Like a name that's well known.
Okay.
Haha, bitches. So, like, if I was to sing, I usually revert to a song that I always know, which is Chris Isaak's Wicked Games, which is like, it goes, the world was on fire, no one could save me but you. No one expects that voice to come out of me, right?
Yeah, I'm
strange word desire. It's like, I sing like that, right? And I remember I went to like a musical course, and they went, you can't sing like that, you can't bend your notes like that, you have to sing like prim and proper. And I was just like, okay. So I sang like that for a long time, and then I realized actually that's not the way I sing. So I started writing music in my normal singing voice, and I got a lot of people who went, thank you, like, you were brilliant.
What does bending your voice mean?
So like, as in I bend my notes, like I go, far, like that was about out tune, instead of going,
okay. That sounds way better though.
I think so. Yeah, but I sing like that basically. So I haven't written music in a while, to be honest with you, but that's purely because I've been so focused.
Was music like a little outlet for you? It was never like something that you wanted to go
I don't want to say that, but I think it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I love music. It's such a big part of my life.
It makes sense though.
But yeah, I think I will always go back to it, because I'm actually hoping to go and record something soon. I'm hoping, because I've been out of touch with it for such a long time, and such beautiful things have happened to me in my life. I'm 22, and I've reached the point in my life where I am getting there. Does that make sense? And so I was like, you know what? I miss writing. I miss singing. So I'm hopefully going to write something soon. And if I do, I'll let you know. But my focus has been...
I'd love to shoot your music video.
Babes, you can.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now. You can... Pinky it. Done.
It's done.
It's done. It's going to be so beautiful. But yeah, so I got into music, did that, and sang a lot of my pain away. Because like I said, I went through a lot of pain. I grew up with a lot of pain. I had to, like, my mum is disabled. I have to look after her. Like, I looked after her for so many years of my life. So I wasn't that kid on the estate running around with a ball. I was the one at home cleaning the house. And I was, like, really young. So I grew up really quickly. That's why I probably feel 40 right now. I swear to God. My hip blocks. I'm 22, man. It doesn't make no sense to me. But anyway.
How do you balance everything? How do you do directing, writing, music, acting?
Do you know what? I actually don't know.
Have a boyfriend.
Cook, clean, do the laundry. Oh my God. Do you know what? I'm a very organized human being. I'm very organized. I like to have a timetable, but not necessarily like, okay, at 6 p.m. I'm doing this, but as in like, I make sure that I always have time. If I can't do it, I will find another time. And how my day is usually structured is, in the morning part of my life, so like 9 a.m. till about 7, let's say, I can do whatever I want, right? I can go and do creative stuff, come back. I can do that in the evening too, but, excuse me. So on a usual day, how it would work is when I come home at around 8 p.m, I make sure my mum has her insulin. I start cooking straight away. I don't even get to sit down and like have a fag. I go and like do cooking, and while the food is like kind of nearly there and it's taking its time, I do the laundry. I get someone else to hoover if I can't, or I feed everyone. Then when everyone's fed, I will have my food once I've finished all the stuff I need to do. So it's really funny. It sounds so calculated when I talk about it, but it is.
You do all of this. What does your sister do?
Nada. She does nothing. I love my sister, but she does nothing, V. Like, and I don't blame her. She was like, you know, there's always a system.
Do you have a brother?
No, okay. I wish I did, because it may have been a better option than a sister. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But my sister is more like, I was the trial and error kid.
Yeah.
She's the spoiled kid.
Oh, yeah.
Got it? That's what we need to know. I'm the older.
Yeah,
I'm old.
It always works.
Oh God, it's just annoying. But
Whatever
yeah.
doesn't work on you, they'll rub it on to her.
Oh, if my sister starts smoking, it's your fault she's smoking. Mum, I didn't do anything. I didn't put the cigarette in her mouth and light it.
Did your mum want you to be like a doctor or accountant?
Oh God, are we going to have this conversation?
Yes,
yes is the answer. She said to me, why can't you have a career that actually makes money, is what she said to me, right? Which is normal for every,
like... your mum said that straight up. My parents was just wishing-washy, and I was like, you being like
that... She gets pissed off at me, though. She used to, like, this is like about 2 years ago, she got annoyed at me. She was like, you're not making any money, and I know that you love doing what you do, but you're not doing anything with it. It's basically what she said to me. And she said, when are you going to go to university? When are you going to go to drama school? And I said, Mum, I'm not going. I'm doing my thing. Because I did drama school auditions for like 2 years in a row, right? And I realized that, dude, like, going to drama school doesn't necessarily make you a better actor. Does that make sense? And same with film school. So I was just like, I'm not going to do it. And she got annoyed. Oh, and do you know what's even more funny? When she met her friends, yeah, Melina's thinking of going to the University of so-and-so to study film. I said, Mum, you're such a
dipshit. And then she has to keep asking you, oh no, I told all my friends you have to go now.
And I said to her, I'm not going. So that was a funny conversation that happened. A lot. A lot. I know you're just sitting there looking at me, but it happened a lot.
Is there anything you regret not doing?
In life, or just like...
No, so far in your career. You're like, damn it, I wish I did that.
Oh, I do actually. You're going to cry with me if I tell you this.
Okay, let's cry.
So, I'm ready. So, basically, that's not how acting works. Okay. Basically, my teacher, who we mentioned previously, Mr. Holloway, who's an absolute don, he gave me an opportunity to work at Pinewood. Yeah. Feel it, just feel it for a moment. And he said to me, Melina, they're doing a Marvel film. Oh, it's how I felt, right? I was like, oh my God, yay! And he went. There's an opportunity for you to shadow on the set, but also the editor. Right. So I was like, I'm ready. I am ready. Yeah. I get Google Maps out. I'm like, how far is Pinewood from where I live, right? Oh my God. I needed a car. And because I didn't have a car, I couldn't do it. So I missed out on the opportunity of working at Pinewood and working on a Marvel film. And I was like,
well, maybe, but then when you say it like that, I feel like maybe that's meant to happen.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer in that. I think I know where you're going to go with this, but I believe in the law of attraction. This is what we're going to talk about next. So. For anyone
How did you know?
How did I know?
Law of attraction.
Because it's the law of attraction, boo. Basically, we're such neeks, do you know that? Basically, the law of attraction, if you don't know what it is basically putting it out into the universe, going, for example, I am going to get this music video, or I'm going to fall into a big sum of money, right? You say it and it happens, but you have to believe it, right? So you can't be like...
about the believing part.
The believing part is like, for example, you know when you have like... You have like... Okay, this won't be the best example. Let's see if this works. You know when you're like at your low and the only person you turn to is who? Can you answer that?
Myself. God.
Ding ding. We got there in the end. So yeah, you kind of go, God, please, just give it. It's kind of like that. So it's like universe, God, anything. Just I believe in this. I want this to happen. I have an amazing idea for it, or I will fall into money. It's like the belief system comes from like you actually going. Oh, it's really hard to explain. Like you go, I know. Do you know what I mean? That kind of mentality of
like you already have it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like kind of, I have it, it will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen, and you keep saying it, and eventually it does happen. And I did that, and I do it a lot, and it happens. So I never used to believe in it.
Did you do it on anything that happened recently?
Yeah, I did it on a music video, and I got it. But I also got it because of my great, amazing idea. So yes. But just saying, no, because I was like, I sent about 7 treatments, maybe less than that, maybe 5. Wow. I sent 5 treatments. I know. Yeah. I did that all in the course of 2 weeks, by the way, like 2 weeks. So how many treatments is that? If it's 6, so it's like 3 treatments per week.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So I sent a load of treatments out, and then I was like, universe. I remember I stood in my room. There was no one home, and I'm not afraid to admit this. I sat there like this. I was like, please, God, universe, give me one of them. Just please give me one of them. And then I got 2 days later, Niz, who is a mutual friend of ours, got an email. Nizar, Novashan.
He's currently maybe dying in Italy. I don't even know.
He's probably breaking a drone.
Oh, damn.
That's an in-joke for anyone who knows Nizar. He's breaking a drone. Basically, he got an email like 2 days later. So 2 days after I sent that treatment, he got an email going, we love you, we want to take your idea.
Wow.
And a lot of people had applied. When I say a lot, like a lot. The song itself had like 600 listens to it.
Okay, yeah.
So I felt privileged. And then I worked on it and I fell in love with the song even more. It was amazing. So I've been very lucky. But my belief system comes from the law of attraction. So I believe in that. And I also believe in myself. That's the main thing. So,
how do you set goals and how do you keep yourself accountable?
How do I set goals and keep them accountable?
Because I know you said you're very organized.
Yeah.
So how do you because you were very from 14 you're like, I'm going to go acting, I'm doing directing, this and that. So I'm pretty sure you set yourself some sort of goals to get to where you are now, right?
Do you want the honest truth?
Yeah.
I have this goal that I know I'm going to hit.
Yeah.
Law of attraction. Basically, I said to myself that within 10 years, I'm going to at least be at the BAFTAs.
Yeah.
I know that sounds stupid to most people, but
BAFTAs doing what?
BAFTA for TV and for film, and I'm going to get nominated and I'm going to get picked. It's going to happen.
That's mad.
It's going to happen.
How did it feel? You got nominated for something recently. Your feature film, or was it?
Oh, no. Oh.
Or a documentary?
Yeah, no, that wasn't recently. That was like a year ago, babe.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
So that was great. So my film got submitted into the Hammersmith Film Festival.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was like a good collection of work that's been like brought in, and mine got nominated.
Was that a new film festival?
Yeah, that was like the first year. It was like the first year. It was great. And you know what? When I went there, I was like, you know what? Even if I don't get picked, at least I've had the privilege of being here. And so I want to know. I didn't win the award, but I got nominated, and they gave me a certificate at the end of it, which was really lovely. Sick. But I made the.
Did you go there in a maxi dress and be like?
No, I came in as hobo Melina. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna.
That's how you know you're the hard worker.
Yeah, trust me. It's like, I can't be bothered no more. I'm just gonna come in like me. Yeah. So it was nice. It was really nice. And the film I worked on was an indie film, which, funny enough, I'm not gonna mention the name or the individuals involved with the project. But you remember the story I was telling you about the casting?
Yeah.
It's for that.
Oh no way.
Yeah. Do you want me to
tell the viewers at home about the story?
So
get this.
Basically, so I do casting directing work, and one of the things I found while I do casting, especially, no disrespect to men, but when you're in a room full of men and you're the only woman, you hear so much nonsense. And dick jokes, yeah. Well, not necessarily dick jokes, but like, oh, she was fit. Do you know what I mean? And I'm there trying to do my job, and it's just not cool. So this film that I worked on, which again I won't mention because I just to respect everyone on there except this one individual who I'm debating to say the name or not. I'm just debating.
Let's call him Humphrey.
Humphrey, fuck you, Humphrey. I really hate Humphrey, and I'll explain later on why. But basically, we were sat at this table, we did the casting, and we were just kind of deciding who to pick, right? After reading in with these beautiful, amazing actresses. And the boys, even though the decision was purely mine, casting director and producer and director, the 3 who pick, right? Oh my God. They all had a say. There was about 10 men, probably less than that, 7 men, sorry, and there was only me, so there was 8 of us all together. And they went, all right, this is how we'll decide. Who would you rather fuck? Who would, I can't fathom the words to tell you how First of all,
so there's these 3 guys and there's you.
There's this, 6 guys.
6 guys and
there's just me. And I'm very masculine, and I'm very aware of that, because I'm like here, like, okay, my Wonder Woman's come on, like, you because I want to fuck you up for saying this, basically. And I just turned to them and I went, how can you say that? I'm a woman, first of all. Bear that, obviously, I am a woman. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm a woman. I'm a very open woman. Do you know what I mean? And on top of that, I know how difficult it is to be on the other side of having to do castings for a group full of men who are all looking for the perfect sexy girl with a great ass and boobs, but not necessarily looking for the performance, just so that just for them. And it really upset me. So I decided that I'm not going to work with those individuals again. There's only one who I'd worked with who didn't actually say that. There was only that one person. But
so that casting call, did they actually judge the people?
Oh no! Do you know what? I gave them a proper lecture.
Yeah.
I became mother in the situation.
Yeah.
Where I went, you cannot do that, and I said, I don't intend me to work on future films with you, because if that's the way you're going to approach it, it ain't ever going to work. And I said to them, would you say the same thing about your sister or your mum? You wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Or about your girlfriend? You wouldn't say that. It's disgusting. So I was like, no, and I'm a firm believer in, like I said, making sure that everyone gets their spotlight and for the right reasons. But God help me, that was such a difficult situation for me, and it's not the first time it's happened, but that was the first one, and it really pissed me off. So, yeah.
What's your thoughts on all that Me Too movement?
Me Too.
Me Too. Can
I
tell you something?
Yeah, go.
I think it was on the Netflix originals now. They have this new rule on set. Anyone on set can't look at each other for more than 5 seconds because of this Me Too movement. So I can't be like.
So me and you can't have like.
So you know on the lunch break.
Oh my god. That would piss me off.
Because then you can just go to the HR manager and be like, no,
harassment.
We looked at me for 6 seconds and I felt really uncomfortable.
Look, this is my thing. Like, I'm really glad that people who did those horrible fucking things are finally getting what they deserve, right? But we shouldn't exclude men. Male rape happens all the time. Females get raped, men get raped, everyone, like, it happens. It really happens.
That's so true.
And I think I agree with the Me Too. No, but it's true though. I agree with the Me Too movement, because I've been there. I had to say a lot. I had to say, but I can say Me Too because it's happened to me. Do you know what I mean? But you wouldn't know. No, you wouldn't know. Do you see what I mean? So, and I think the main thing is that you don't treat the people that happened to as victims. You treat them as survivors and as warriors and as strong men and women. Because to be able to just have something like that happen to you and then just go through it and just at the end of it come out stronger, even though it's so painful. You are. Oh, I just can't explain. There's no word for it. You are phenomenal. You're an amazing human being. But this whole Me Too thing, I agree with it. But that I don't agree with.
Because I feel like they started off in good thoughts.
It started off in a good way, and then it ended up with people taking, okay, now we have to just be extremely secure and safe about the whole situation, which is I can understand it.
It's not being humans anymore.
No,
I can't look at you for more than 5 seconds.
You can look at for me as long as you want, babe. But like, but basically, like the fact that, do you see what I mean? Like this banter. Like, it's fine.
If I had this on set with you, I'd probably get sacked.
Exactly. Yeah. So why is that a problem? I don't understand it. So I don't agree with that side of it. I think if you feel uncomfortable, obviously report it or stand up for yourself, or just like, even saying stand up for yourself is a really difficult thing, because if you're in a position where the other person is really intimidating or higher authority, you can't necessarily do that. But try to actually take steps to make sure that you are safe is the most important thing. But stuff like that I can't agree with, because how am I meant to look at you and go, as your director, and I'm going, okay, can you just quickly do you know I can't
exactly.
I can't do my work without having to look at you physically. Do you know what I mean? So it's I mean, I can, but it doesn't make it easier because it makes it awkward. Because I'm aware of a rule in my head now. So I think that's my opinion on the matter.
What your favorite food to eat?
Oh, honey. I am a massive foodie, so most things I like. I don't like sushi.
You took what?
Yeah.
But you took me to like the bombest Japanese
oh
place
my
in Chinatown
god,
the other day.
I love this place.
£4.50. I had a big bowl of food.
It's great, right?
And then I paid what? £1, £2 more, and I had it with a beer as well. I was like, this is gangster.
It was amazing. It's this place called Misatu in Chinatown, and it's an amazing Japanese restaurant, and they're brilliant. But if you want to go there, there's usually a queue for about an hour outside the door. So we were lucky on the day we went. Yeah. We were really lucky. But they do the most amazing food. I love their food. And I usually get like a beef udon or a chicken teriyaki or a chicken katsu curry rice over there.
Standard.
Oh my God. It's orgasmic. Anyway, so I have that. I love Persian food a lot.
Okay, what's Persian food?
Oh my God, it's like...
School me.
Oh, it's really hard to. Like, I'm trying to remember some of the foods we have. As soon
Is
as
it
you
like
said it.
Lebanese kind of food?
Don't insult me.
Okay.
Don't insult me.
I'm not trying to... What's Persian
It's like
food?
Persian food's like... So... Persian food is Persian food, like you know, like kebabs, for example, that we make kebabs like kufte or barg or like chicken breast, with lovely saffron rice and that kind of stuff. But the starters are my favorite.
What's the starters?
So like there's one called salad olvia, which is like potato salad but with chicken in it and pickles.
Okay.
And the best time to have it, especially during this weather as well, is to leave it in the refrigerator for like a couple hours so it's cold, and then have it with a nice like drink, and then you eat it with bread.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah, it's so good. I want it now. I really want it. Oh, and there's loads of stuff, but like if you ever go to an Iranian restaurant, like order some starters and try something new, because God help me, they are so good. But Iranian food, Japanese food, I love steak. And
how do you like your steak cooked?
Medium rare.
Okay, good.
Bloody like. I like my medium rare. It's just nice. I never used to. My boyfriend got me into it.
Okay. When did you do fully cooked before?
Well done. I was like, I could die. I could die. My mum was like, if you don't have it with a glass of wine, you'll die. I was like, Mum, I'm what? My mum scared me. And then my boyfriend was just like, dude, you know you can just have it like medium rare. It's not gonna kill you. I was like, really? Really? And he was like, yeah. So I love my steak medium rare.
That's
dope. I usually go to like Carluccio's for my steak though.
What's that?
It's an Italian restaurant.
Yeah, no, I heard of that.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really good.
Sick. I need to check that out.
So check that out. I'll take you there.
Okay.
We'll go for dinner. Is
that what you do in your free time?
Take you to dinner, yeah? Classic charm. I'm such a flirt when I want to.
How did you and your boyfriend meet?
Oh God, don't even. It's naughty.
Is it?
A bit.
Okay, let's not get into
No.
it.
It's just cute. Basically, we met through a friend, and I came in with like literally a bottle of vodka, like a big bottle of vodka, and I went, I've got vodka. And he just, and bear in mind, I didn't know anyone. There was only one person I knew in there, and he just went, that's my kind of girl, right? And we spent, no word of a lie, about 6 hours outside talking to each other. We didn't even go for a pee break. We just sat there 6 hours of non-stop talking.
Just down in that vodka.
Yeah, and now we were actually, funny enough, we were on the floor in the kitchen laughing our heads off because we were so drunk. But we're 3 years of dating now.
Yeah.
3 years. Yes, commitment.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
What are you working on at the moment?
I'm currently working on a music video.
Yeah.
For Yuri. I think I can't pronounce the second name. Is it Sade? It's Sade. So how would you pronounce that? Yuri Sade?
Yeah,
Yuri Sade?
Yeah.
Okay, if I get it wrong, Yuri, don't kill me. Basically, there's an amazing song called 1,000 Ringing Bells I'm working on, which you actually helped me with camera operating. And it's a beautiful track that speaks about the good and bad of a relationship. So I'm working on that, and currently it's in the editing stages. And yeah, that's the main thing.
This podcast will be out this week, so I can link Yuri's SoundCloud down below.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It comes out on the 20th.
Okay,
so
sick. Yeah, then I can chuck it in.
There you go. So it's going to be brilliant. And I think you've seen some of the shots.
Yeah. No,
it looks dope. Like, I'm not even going to lie. I don't lie. God help me, it looks dope.
I like it because it doesn't look like every other music video that's coming out right now.
I think that's really important, especially with the conventions that we go through in terms of like rap videos always have hoes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the inverted commas, hoes. I don't like that, but
and fancy cars and
mansion. Here in my Merc. It's not even in my lyrics or mean anything to the song, but I'm in my Merc. Like, I don't mind it. Oh, I listen to the music, and if the video is good, even better.
But you know what it is? Some artists, they say all this, but they don't live that life.
No. Like, I could be like, if I was to write a real rap song about myself, it would mainly consist of food, travel, and my work. That would literally be it. Yeah. I didn't going to places, using the underground. I get on the Central Line all the time. So, like, it'd be like, me and my Central Line in a hot breeze, or like that. It was stupid. But yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to say?
Oh, I want to say thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
And
it's been a pleasure as always.
You're fucking lovely.
Yay!
But you're still annoying for calling me Melissa, bro.
So there's been Melissa on today.
You're such a douche. Here with Villard. I do that as a joke. No, kidding. I don't know why. When I'm joking, I like to refer to the microphone.
This is just a microphone.
Microphone. Anyway,
I like the word divine when I'm talking.
Divine.
This is a divine microphone. How was this popcorn?
Divine.
Is
Divine, darling.
Darling. Yes.
Divine, darling. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Darling. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, darling.
You have been watching Be the Source. It's your boy Velan show and the lovely Melina.
Thank you.
I was this close.
You're so good at saying Melina. I'll introduce I'll say go. My name is Melina Namdar and you've been watching Be the Source.
Hey!